You can go into a fantasy football mock draft in a couple different ways. You can play it safe. You can take some risks. Well, happy 4th of July. Kick back, grab a hot dog, an ice cold drink, and let's mock draft headliner style. What's going on, Headliner Nation? Welcome back to the Draft.com studios. You can see I am joined by the DFS wizard himself, Ryan O'Connell, in the house. Ryan, how we doing?
Doing very well, Jake. Thanks for having me on today.
Yep, absolutely. We got a mock draft queued up for today. We're going to be doing another best ball mock draft on Draft.com. If you haven't tried Draft.com, make sure you go over there, sign up for a new account, make that $10 deposit, and use our promo code Headliners, HEADLINERS. Get a free $3 ticket through Draft It, and you can have some fun. You can mock draft with a purpose, is what I like to say, because you're actually mock drafting as people who have some skin in the game, right? There's a dollar attached to it at least. So you're getting something out of your mock draft. You're not just doing a straight computer mock draft or going on to some of the other sites that do mock drafting and people are in there just messing around picking Donovan McNabb in the second round of mock drafts just because he's still available for some apparent reason. But hey, that's what we're going to do today. A lot of things that we're going to discuss here in this episode. So make sure you leave us a comment down below and make sure you hit that like button. Also, we're going to play it a little bit different. Ryan likes to take risks. So Ryan's going to go into this draft with a little bit of a risky approach. I'm going to play it a little bit more safe. We'll see how the teams turn out here at the end, but we want to hear feedback all throughout it. So make sure you're leaving us comments down below as you're watching this video. Now, we're also going to be using a little bit of something from our draft guide. It's called the Perfect Draft, and it kind of helps you decide what route you need to go during your draft. Now, the Perfect Draft was, created around a 12-team league. This is only going to be a 10-team league, so it's a little bit different, but it helps keep your mind thinking and looking ahead. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Ryan is all about that risk life, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when it comes to DFS, you got to take that Ricky Bobby approach. If you're not first, you're last. And that's the approach I'll be taking today. So make sure you follow Jake and myself on Twitter and YouTube. We're going to be doing these best ball drafts every week, trying different strategies, what works, what's going to produce the best teams with the most upside. Make sure you guys let us know down in the comment section who drafted a better team. Jake's definitely going with a more safer, well-rounded approach. I'm going more high-risk, high-upside approach. Yeah. Hashtag DFS life.
Yeah. Who has the better team? This guy right here.
Oh, sun's out, guns out.
Nope, no guns. No guns out. But hey, before we fly off the rails here, let's dive into a 10-team half-point PPR mock draft on Draft.com. Let's see where it heads out. If you have our draft guide, pull it up, follow it along with us. It has almost 500 pages of content. So if you haven't seen it yet, why? You're totally missing out. Almost 500 pages of content for less than $20 at only $19.99. You're not going to find a better deal than that. Head over to the website, TheFantasyHeadliners.com. Order yours today, and it will be delivered to your mailbox within minutes, and you'll have all this information that we have right here. But for now, let's go see how these teams turn out. All right, here we go. We have entered our draft room. As you can see, we are, I guess, lucky, unlucky, whatever it is you want to call it. It makes it a little bit easier here in the first round. Us team headliners got the 1.2. Ryan sitting here with the 1.3. So I'm pretty sure we're going to go running back with our first choice. Ryan, what do you think?
I think we don't have much of a choice there.
No, I mean, it's one of those things where if you're in the top four, you're going to pick a mixture of Saquon, Zeke, Christian McCaffrey, and Kamara. Now, with the news coming out about Zeke today, possibly not being suspended, he kind of gets bumped up my list. He was my running back one entering the season, but there was always that concern of the suspension. If that concern's not there, I love some Zeke Elliott. What do you think?
If you don't take him, I'm going to. So,
well, I just clicked the draft button, so I'll leave you Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara.
At the 1.3 or the 1.4 position, you really can't be mad at any one of these running backs going early in the draft. So if you got Zeke or Christian McCaffrey, they're going to get the volume to sustain your team and be really a core piece. So, yeah, absolutely. I'm going Christian McCaffrey all day.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to be like, well, I don't understand. Like, okay, this is half-point PPR. Yeah, McCaffrey, Kamara, they're going to thrive in that. Why Zeke over one of those two? And here's my explanation for this. Zeke absolutely blew up in the passing game last year. That was one of the biggest knocks on Zeke, is he was more of a standard guy the past few years until last year he really got involved in the passing game. We already know he's going to get the volume. He's a workhorse back with a minimal committee behind one of the best offensive lines in football. And now they have some weapons on the outside. They have the Michael Gallups, the hashtag Amari Pooper, whatever you want to call him. On the outside, Randall Cobb, if he can stay healthy, he's going to help. There's a lot of pieces there in Dallas. And I am all over Zeke, especially if we don't think he's going to get suspended at any point as of right now.
Well, from the news that we read, he's definitely not going to receive any kind of suspension. And if you look at hashtag Amari Pooper, once he came into the Dallas Cowboys, the efficiency and the productivity from Ezekiel Elliott actually went up. So that stretching of the defense opened up those running lanes and really allowed Ezekiel Elliott to function underneath. So I think that's a bonus.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. I mean, especially getting somebody who's going to get you close to 300 touches. It's a win-win situation. Not that McCaffrey really has a whole lot to worry about either. Not a whole lot behind him. I mean, I can think Kamara's kind of in the same boat as he has been the past few years. Instead of having to worry about Ingram taking touchdown touches, now it's just going to be Latavius Murray. It's kind of like 1A, 1B. But like we said earlier, though, it's all win-win. So
absolutely, especially at Ezekiel Elliott at the 1.2. I actually have him graded higher than Saquon Barkley just because of the offense he's in.
Yep, exactly. The offensive line and the additional offensive weapons definitely help. So here we go. We're coming back. We can see a little bit of a run here with Adams, Hopkins, and Thomas, and then Travis Kelce to end the first round. Now,
I told you 1.10.
Yep, that's kind of what we're going to start seeing with best balls. We're going to see people right here at the turn taking that tight end because of that positional scarcity where there's not a whole lot of top-tier tight ends. So he's going to go a lot earlier here in best ball. Kind of like we mentioned, we're going to use our perfect draft from our draft guide. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you head over to our website, TheFantasyHeadliners.com. The draft guide is available there. One of the tools inside of it is the perfect draft, where we kind of talk you through the best possible options in each round from each pick. So it's definitely something we're going to, dive into a little bit. We're not going to give away all of it here in this episode, but we're going to give you away a little bit of a tidbit. So Ryan's got it pulled up over there on his computer, and we'll kind of talk our way through it as we go.
And just so we're clear to all the people watching, it's actually based on a 12-team PPR league, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So just some insight for you guys. If you're in those 12-team PPR leagues and you got the draft guide, that's how we derive this perfect draft, who you should be drafting in each round, or at least some people you should be targeting. You don't have to follow it like it's the Holy Grail, but it's definitely going to give you some premier targets that are going to help your team and help you get to the fantasy football championships.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about.
Yep, absolutely. So we got a few picks here before it comes back around to us. Ryan, you're going to pick before me. What are you thinking?
If I get a chance, I'm going with Odell Beckham all day long. That's my guy. I love him, especially since he has a quarterback in Baker Mayfield who actually can spread the ball and get the ball down to him in the open field. That definitely gives him more upside than he had with the New York Giants. I'm not that high on Juju Smith-Schuster. If both those guys aren't available, then, Todd Gurley, I'm willing to take a chance on him, even with the arthritis in the second round this late.
He's got the arthritis.
The arthritis.
The arthritis. All right, well, no Beckham for you.
Not amused.
No, not amused.
Todd Gurley or Nick Chubb. This really is a telling tale. But, you got to go for upside, especially in those best ball leagues, and I'm going to go with Todd Gurley. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully Darrell Henderson lines the load for him. So that's going to be my pick there.
All right, and this is where it gets a little bit different because you can take a really balanced approach here. I don't mind Juju at the end of the second round, but
that's good value.
Yeah, that's great value, but I am all about the Chubb life, Ryan. I can't talk about Nick Chubb enough. I'm afraid that if I talk about Nick Chubb anymore, I'm going to start getting some unfair nicknames made about me that I really don't care to have. Nick Chubb is somebody, and we've seen the news with Kareem Hunt here. Is he going to get in any major trouble? No, probably not. But before I talk any more about Chubb, I'm already back on the clock again. So now is the time where I'm looking at a wide receiver. I already have my number 2 and number 1.
I already know where you're going.
I'm going with Mike Evans. I don't know. What?
Yeah, you have to.
You have to, absolutely. I don't know if you guys had a chance to check out the video I made with Mike Evans talking about a must-have wide receiver here, and to get him in the third round is an absolute bonus for me. Giving me Nick Chubb, Zeke Elliott, and Mike Evans to start a draft in best ball, sign me up all day long. Absolutely love it.
Talking about positional scarcity, I get a chance to draft Zach Ertz early in the third round. I'm going to have to jump on that opportunity right there just to have that positional advantage at the tight end position.
Yep, absolutely, which is something different for best ball. I mean, you guys got to make sure you pay attention to the best ball strategy. It's a little bit different than your normal, redraft leagues on a yearly basis. Make sure you pay attention to the rules. We'll have them posted up here on the screen. It's a little bit different. We're trying to hit those big weeks. A lot of people say, well, Mike Evans is either boom or bust from a week-to-week basis. Well, for best ball, that's not nearly as big of a risk as it would be maybe for a redraft league. So, going Zach Ertz there, one of the top elite tight ends, I don't hate it whatsoever.
With one of the most favorable strength of schedules.
Yep, absolutely. And you see Antonio Brown come off the board here in the mid-third. I actually don't mind that value for Antonio Brown in the mid-third. It's definitely not something I'm shooting for. I'd rather have Mike Evans over Antonio Brown, but I do think Antonio Brown is slightly undervalued just because of the amount of targets that he could see in that offense this year.
Well, it frankly comes down to that Oakland offense, which is going to be borderline middle of the pack if they're lucky. But the target share he's going to command in that offense, yeah. Third round draft capital for your team, sign me up all day because Antonio Brown, he's still elite talent, and he's going to give you that kind of upside from a week-to-week basis that's going to really help you solidify the core of your team in the early rounds.
Yep. All right, so pull up the perfect draft there for a second, Ryan. Now, as we come back around, we're going to be hitting into the fourth round with us both being right there on the back half of that fourth round. What does it say that we should probably be targeting right around here?
Well, for you, Jake, you were the 1.2, correct?
Correct.
For you, you should be targeting Kenyon Drake, who I absolutely love. So if you get a chance to take him, you should. If you don't, I will happily accept. For me, in the fourth round, it says I should be targeting Mark Ingram, but based on who I drafted, I might be going wide receiver depending on who's available.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all relative. And like you said at the very beginning, this is not you have to draft this every round. These are the picks you have to have. Take what the draft gives you. You cannot go into any draft and say, in round 1, I'm taking a running back. In round 2, I'm taking a wide receiver. In round 3, I'm taking a running back. You can't have that mentality because if somebody just leaves something on the draft board for you, you got to take advantage of it, and you have to be able to adapt and move. Definitely something you need to pay attention to. But like you said, the perfect draft is a great tool just to kind of get your mind thinking of what you need to build a great all-around roster.
Absolutely. I love it. It's a great tool to have, and it's a great reference piece because if I'm getting stuck, like I don't know who to decide between two players, I'm going to reference back to the perfect draft, and it's going to really assist me and give me a solid team to present in 2019.
Yep, and that's all you're looking for. So here you are. You're almost up on the clock. You're going to have your chance to get Kenyon Drake if you need him. Go for it. There's other names that I like there also, but
I don't have any wide receivers, but okay. Man, this is tough. So Kenyon Drake, who's going to be actually a very undervalued player and could really help my team, but I have no wide receivers. I need to start 3 every week, and so I'm going to kind of reach here. And the player I'm really looking to target is Tyreek Hill, just based on the news that he's not going to be suspended. So I have to go for upside. He's going to be my wide receiver 1.
Right, and he may still be suspended, except you took Kerryon Johnson because you timed out because you were talking too long.
Gotta love it.
Well, I'll alter mine a little bit then too, because I do have 2 stud running backs already. And in my opinion, I think Brandon Cooks is somebody who is built for the best ball format. He's going to have the big weeks. So if I can have Brandon Cooks paired with Mike Evans to go along with Nick Chubb and Zeke Elliott, in my opinion, that's a great start to a draft. And now I can kind of just go with best available at whatever position. I do need one more wide receiver, but there's a ton of names down the draft board. Tight end is something that I may want to look at right now. Let's see, who's there. OJ Howard is somebody who I really like this year. Hunter Henry is somebody who I really like. It's still a
I
little bit
love
early.
Hunter Henry. Yeah, he's definitely undervalued.
He's definitely undervalued. I like both of these guys, and I'm going to take advantage of it now because I'm not going to have another pick for a while. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reach just a little bit, and I'm going to go with our boy here on the show, Hunter Henry, because with the targets left behind by Tyrell Williams, I think he sees a slight uptick, plus that red zone ability is going to be there. Everybody's all on board with Mike Williams, which I do like at a certain value, but I think Hunter Henry takes away some of those red zone looks. And at the need of a tight end position here, I'm all in on Hunter Henry.
Definitely. And if you look, followed by, I actually got Tyreek Hill at the 5.3, which is just outstanding value, especially with the news breaking that he could have faced a maximum of 4 games. So as my wide receiver 1, even though I went running back heavy approach, which wasn't really my intentions, I'm very happy with my team, followed by Kenyon Drake right behind him. 2 great values going in the 5th round for your 10 person best ball leagues.
Yep. Let's take a look at the teams here real quick. So far, as of right now, Team Fantasy Headliners, we got Ezekiel Elliott, Nick Chubb, Mike Evans, Brandon Cooks, and Hunter Henry. I am just fine with that. I have no issues whatsoever.
I love that. Yeah, that's a great team right there.
And then we'll take a look at yours here. Drafting King, which is Ryan's team here, has Christian McCaffrey, Todd Gurley, Tyreek Hill, Zach Ertz, and Kerryon Johnson. I really don't have a whole lot of issues with that. You may be hurting a little bit for the first couple weeks, maybe, depending on what happens with Tyreek Hill. But after that, what happens if Gurley isn't as bad off as a lot of people say he is? And Gurley is still 85% of what he was last season. He's still a top 10 running back. And if he can produce that and Tyreek Hill comes back into that offense, you're going to be putting up a butt ton of points.
Yeah, and the thing about best ball leagues that not a lot of people know about, they run 17 weeks. So that last 3-4 weeks of the season, yeah, I'm going to be playing catch up, but I'm going to be playing catch up very quickly, especially with those players that I have assembled on my team. Kind of risk versus reward, but I'm playing the upside game. I want the maximum upside, especially in these lower limit best ball leagues, if you will.
Yep. Once again, if this is the first time you've seen one of these drafts here on draft.com, it is a lot of fun. Best ball is a lot of fun. You draft it, you set it, you forget it. You don't have to worry about it. You can literally enter a ton of $1 leagues, little to no management all year long, and then you have a chance to win some money at the end. If you're new here and you enjoy it, make sure you sign up with a new account, and if you deposit $10, Draft will give you a free $3 ticket, and use our promo code HEADLINERS, HEADLINERS, and that's how you'll get that free $3 play. So make sure you do that, sign up for it. It's a lot of fun. Plus, follow us on Twitter, both of us, myself and Ryan. Our handles will be down below in the description. Right before we started this draft, Ryan was tweeting out that we were going to be doing it. So if anybody was available, they could actually hop in there with us. One of the names I recognize, I see our boy Steven out there. He's one of our longtime supporters, so great to see him out there. It's fun to draft against people that we get a chance to talk to from time to time. So make sure you go to draft.com, sign up for that new account, make a $10 deposit, and have some fun with us.
Absolutely.
And now you're almost on the clock.
Yeah, after that long spiel, I'm deciding who I should take next, and it's going to be between Robbie Anderson and Jarvis Landry. Now, I did take a little bit of a risk in Tyreek Hill, so I feel like I should go with the safer approach with Jarvis Landry, but I love Robbie Anderson's upside. I can't ignore it. He was great for me in DFS last year. I got a kind of a man crush on him, so I'm taking him here.
Well, all right then. Professing your love live on the internet. Way to go, Ryan.
I'm cool with it.
All right, so it is, once again, best ball. You have to start 3 wide receivers. And there's a wide receiver right here that I think is pretty underrated right now. A lot of people hated on him because of last year. I don't hate Allen Robinson this year. It's his second season coming off of his torn ACL. He's going to be my number 3 option in an offense that's led by Matt Nagy. I expect Trubisky to take a step forward as my number 3 option, a big target in a big play offense. Trubisky he was one of the tops in the NFL last year as far as deep balls thrown, and that has Allen Robinson's name written all over it. If he can come back healthy, fully healthy from that ACL, I'm fine with him as my wide receiver 3.
Absolutely. Now, the only thing that really concerns me about Allen Robinson is that defense behind it, whether or not they'll have to go into shootout mode and really put up those kind of passes. But luckily for you, Matt Nagy is a very vertically inclined coach.
Yep.
So,
Well, here I am back on the clock. I'm going with my boy. I reach for him in the 7th round almost of every draft that I possibly can. I absolutely love Rashad Penny this year out of Seattle. He's going to have an opportunity to get close to 200 touches in that offense, and he produced just great numbers last year when he got that opportunity.
man, that's kind of a shocker for me, to be honest.
Not at all. Love it.
Now, for me, I took
got
Jarvis
Chubb again, and just so you know. That's Chubb times 2 in one draft.
Oh, my goodness.
You want to see?
Nope, I'm good.
All right.
So I decided to go with Jarvis Landry there. He's the safer pick. He's going to definitely get some volume. Will Odell Beckham take away some of those targets? Absolutely. But in best ball leagues, it's important to look at the structure of how many players you need to start on a weekly basis. You need to start 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 quarterback. So what we're going to really focus on is building our core, and our core is going to be focused on the running back and wide receiver position and just building that up. We're going to obviously try to have more wide receivers than running backs at the end of the draft, but that also depends on who's available. If they're going to give us a slew of value at the running back position, we're going to take that here at the Fantasy Headliners.
Yep, absolutely. We love the value. All about that value. About that Chubb life and about that value life. We're like Walmart-ish. We're like a high-end Walmart.
Thank you.
We're like a Malibu Walmart or something like that.
You're better than that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, moving back. Why don't we pull up that perfect draft one more time, Ryan? Now that we're getting towards the middle rounds, coming around to the 8th round, who are some of the names sitting right around there in the 8th round that we should, be taking a look at? I put you on the spot, didn't I?
Yes, you did. For you, the perfect draft is suggesting a wide receiver in Sterling Shepard. And for me, it's suggesting a running back in Carlos Hyde. I don't hate either one of those picks. I'm not a fan of Carlos Hyde personally, just because I'm very high on Damian Williams. If you go to your exposure rate on draft.com, it'll tell you how many times you drafted a certain player. I drafted Damian Williams the most. So I don't want to really hedge that bet with Carlos Hyde. If I hit on Damian Williams in most of my best ball leagues, that means I should be doing very well and I should win more money. If I hedge it with Carlos Hyde, I'm saying that Damian Williams either A is going to get hurt or he's not going to perform like I like to. So that means I'm going to be losing money. And I don't ever plan on doing that.
Right. And like you said, too, a little bit earlier, the perfect draft is built around 12-team leagues. So obviously those picks and stuff right now are a little bit deeper than what you see on the list right here because this is only a 10-team league. So you're going to get that opportunity to get a little bit better, players in a 10-team league, obviously, because the depth just isn't there. But those are definite names. I mean, Carlos Hyde, is it a little bit of a reach at that time? It could be, but if you went heavy wide receiver early, I don't think – personally, I believe in Damian Williams, but if he goes down, that's all of a sudden a high-end RB2 in Carlos Hyde in Kansas City.
Absolutely, and that's the thing you got to consider in those best ball leagues. There's no waiver wire, so you have to definitely consider the injury concerns like Todd Gurley. So I might even look to handcuff him with Darrell Henderson just to be safe.
I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do just so you don't take the guy a few picks earlier. I'm going to break a rule because this is only, the 8th round. I may go quarterback right here.
Man, I'll tell you what. There's so much positional value at the quarterback position. I'm not really interested in reaching, especially in these best ball drafts. But as I take a look, Aaron Rodgers is still available. And if he's available with the next pick, it's going to be hard to pass him up. You follow that up by Baker Mayfield, who's definitely a younger sensation, but he's got that upside, especially with Odell at the helm.
No, well, Aaron Rodgers isn't there, so you better not take the Bake Show because, dang it, that's what I want. Forget the Lake Show. It's the Lakers. Give me the Bake. Right. Give me the Bake Show, which sounds bad also. That could be used, out of context and sound very bad.
You know what? I'm gonna be okay with this because I'm gonna let people decide who had a better draft, me or you. So I'm gonna let you pay up for a quarterback right now.
Perfect. What are you going to take somebody, or are you just going to sit here and tease us?
I'm gonna tease you to the last second.
You took him. I absolutely hate you. You're never invited to a draft. Man, well, I can tell you one thing. Hashtag say no to Rojo. I'd rather have herpes than Ronald Jones. So let's see what else do we got here. Well, now that you took my boy, you see Sterling Shepard down there. We talked about him a little bit earlier. Now you've put me on the spot. You know what? You reached for a quarterback. I'm going to reach for a quarterback. Give me Matt Ryan. He plays 13 games indoors with an offense that's going to throw the ball an absolute ridiculous amount of times. In my opinion, he's a safe play. And just like that, I'm back on the clock again. I am talking way too much. What kind of tight ends we got sitting out there? Not a whole lot. David Njoku, he'll have decent weeks at times. Everybody else is just going to be Matt. But I do need somebody else because right now I only have the one tight end. I'm going to go David Njoku right here. Why? It's the Browns, and you took Baker Mayfield from me, so I'll take David Njoku.
I can't even be mad at you for that. It's definitely a position. If you don't get one of those top tier elite tight ends, it's something you're going to want some safety valves at. Man,
I still can't believe you took Baker Mayfield. I absolutely hate you.
I had to put you on the spot, man.
You did, and I guess that's what you get. That's a rule. I guess we just taught everybody a lesson. If you have a buddy in a league that you're in, don't tell him what you're going to do because 9 times out of 10, bro code goes out the window and he's going to take your dude.
All fair in love and war and best ball drafts.
I want you to take Ronald Jones.
How much you're going to pay me?
Nothing.
Then I'm good on that. I'll take Lamar Miller, who actually is going to be a good value for you guys in redraft and best ball leagues going
in the ninth
round. Yeah, RB1, part of a good offense. Sign me up for that.
I think Donta Foreman at some point cuts into
absolutely.
that. But
absolutely.
Lamar Miller is going to have every opportunity at the start of the season, and a lot of people hate on Lamar Miller. Kyle put out a video here earlier in the week talking about Lamar Miller being a must-own running back, and a lot of people just kind of take it out of context. I think the biggest issue with Lamar Miller is people, they raise the bar too high. They expect too much. If you just take him for what he is, which is a mid to low-end RB2 consistent play, you can't hate it because he produces it every single year. He's just not that RB1 type of guy. So if you have those expectations, you have nobody to blame but yourself.
And I took him as my 4th running back off the board with the RB2 upside.
Yep.
Yeah. Hashtag sign me up all day.
All right. Well, I'm not going to say who I'm looking at because if I do,
I already know who you're looking at.
You'll draft him, so I'm not going to say nothing.
Is it Kyler Murray?
I'm not going to say anything. I don't even know who you're talking about. Never mind. You said Kyler Murray, and he went off the board.
Yeah, that's how it goes in these best ball drafts. You speak about a player, and yep, it's bound to happen.
Who comes off the board first, Miles Sanders or Ronald Jones?
Who? Miles Sanders or Ronald Jones? Miles Sanders all day.
Okay, whoever picks Ronald Jones, they get their own graphic that's going to pop up here. I can tell you right now, it's not going to be a good graphic.
Well, I don't think it's going to be Steven if he follows this closely.
Yeah,
I know we're still a ways out from the actual draft, but I think he's informed enough to know better.
Watch. He's going to take him. That's all right.
Steven, we love you, man.
Yeah, he's got broad shoulders. He can take it. He's been a part of Headliner Nation for a long time. Waiting for this second pick. Obviously, you see Miles Sanders did come off the board right after Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is somebody who I think is actually his ADP is going to rise the closer we get to the season because people are going to start seeing training camp videos and preseason videos. I saw one not that long ago where they were doing sprints, and him and Andy Isabella were neck and neck. And if you don't know who Andy Isabella is, he ran like a 4.340 at the combine. So I'd say Kyler Murray is pretty quick.
Yeah, and if you got a quarterback who can run that fast so he can scramble out of the pocket, and you got a wide receiver that can run that fast he can throw to, upside, going up. I love it. Not to mention they were already talking about going into the shotgun formation 99% 90% of the time or something ridiculous like that. I mean, they're going to have to with a very lackluster defense, but yeah, their upsides are definitely very high.
Yep.
It might be garbage time fantasy football production, but we really don't care. We just want the points and we want to win.
That's right. Absolutely. So here we go. Steven was very smart. He's followed Headliner Nation for a long time, taking one of our breakouts of the year, Curtis Samuel. Great pick. Love Curtis Samuel. Sterling Shepard off the board.
Great value.
Sterling Shepard in the 10th round being the number one rider. Bud Bowl. Bud Bowl, you just lost the draft. You took Ronald Jones.
Oh, my goodness.
You have officially just lost before the season started, Bud Bowl.
Oof.
Hate it for you. There's nobody there for you. You shouldn't take anybody, Ryan. Just let him auto pick and take Royce Freeman.
Okay, so not Kiki. Do you love me, QT?
No. Well, Kiki was somebody who I had my eyes on, but another name that I've talked about probably for about 2 months. And a lot of people are like, Jake, stop reaching. It's not worth it. He's not going to be the guy. Geronimo Allison is going to be more involved in this offense than a lot of people are giving him credit for. And now word is coming out that he's going to get the majority of his snaps out of the slot in an Aaron Rodgers-led offense. We already know he has the chemistry. He was number 2 in targets before going out in the season last year early. Aaron Rodgers loves him, trusts him, and he's going to use him. So now what do we have here for me once again?
You could double dip.
With what?
MVS.
No, not going to double dip. Kareem Hunt, I'm really not that interested in after this last one. How about Jalen Samuels? Jalen Samuels is somebody who I think is going to be involved in a weekly basis in that offense. Is he going to go out there and get you 20 touches a week? Nope, he's not. But he's my number 4 running back. He's able to take handoffs out of the backfield. He's able to line up in the slot, and they're going to utilize him. I like some Jalen Samuels.
So I'm going to have to kind of go against you here and kind of hedge your bet with Geronimo Allison, and I'm going to bet on MVS. And there's some reason for that. He's 6'4", and he runs a 4.3 40. I mean, if you're going to stretch the field, which Aaron Rodgers has the arm to do, that's the talent I want to go with. And he's a young talent. And it really doesn't matter what me and you think. It really comes down to what Aaron Rodgers thinks about the talent. And I think he definitely can take a step forward this year in 2019.
I think the biggest problem with MVS last year is he came on really strong there a couple weeks, and then he just absolutely faded and disappeared, and everybody's like, what the heck happened? An Aaron Rodgers offense, and I've actually watched a few videos on it trying to pick up some things, but the way that he commands the line of scrimmage and changes the plays and uses hand signals and stuff, it's a little bit Peyton Manning-esque, just on a quieter level. And if these wide receivers miss those hand signals, run the wrong routes, Aaron Rodgers gets downright pissed. Like, he doesn't just say, hey, get it next time. He looks at you like he wants to eat your children. And it just, I don't know if it happens this year with MVS. I do expect him to take a step forward, but hopefully he can get that playbook, because I know it's not going to be easy. Geronimo Allison already knows it and has that trust in Aaron Rodgers, and especially in the slot. He's a big slot, which sounds awkward to say, but he's got that opportunity to rack up the touches. Steven going with Kareem Hunt there. I mean, the upside is huge. You just got to wait for a long, long time to get it.
Week 10 minimum.
And even in week 10, there's no guarantee that it comes back and produces. So we got a little bit of time here. Let's look at the teams one more time. Pull it up here on the screen. Team headliners. We got Matt Ryan, Ezekiel Elliott, Nick Chubb, Mike Evans, Brandon Cooks, Allen Robinson, Hunter Henry, Rashad Penny, David Njoku, Geronimo Allison, and Jalen Samuels. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of that. And then let's look at Ryan's team. What does Ryan got? Does Ryan have a better team than me? Absolutely no, he does not. Let's see. He's got Baker Mayfield, Christian McCaffrey, Todd Gurley, Tyreek Hill, Robbie Anderson, Jarvis Landry, Zach Ertz, Kerryon Johnson, Lamar Miller, Kiki, Do You Love Me? And the longest name in football, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Put it down in the comment section. What do you think about Ryan's roster right now?
I think it's a big gamble.
Yes.
But, that's kind of what I do.
You have a tendency to gamble a lot. If you're not familiar with Ryan, Ryan is our actual DFS specialist. He is all about that DFS life. And if you want to win some money doing some DFS, that's the person you need to be following right there. We'll have a DFS package coming out this season, and Ryan will be the one that's heading that up. So make sure you look for that. And if you're a big DFS player, Ryan's all over it. He'll take you to school.
Yeah, not only am I going to teach you guys how to be more successful and basically select smarter contests and be smarter with your money, just more unique lineups, and that's what it's really all about. You're not going to catch me in a millionaire maker because I don't care about those lottery tickets. I want to be consistent, cashing in, cashing out, be productive, and make more money and have more fun doing it. Because when you're taking those big gambles, you're not going to really be successful. And it's definitely going to take a toll on your bankroll. And that's definitely something to consider. If you guys haven't purchased the draft guide yet, you can find all my articles on how to become a more successful DFS players. I definitely suggest you guys checking it out. It's only $19.99. It's what, over 500 pages?
Yep, it's just about 500 pages of content, and like we said, we're not trying to just tell you who to pick on a weekly basis. We're trying to make you a better player, and I think if we can teach you how to be a better player, it'll open up those possibilities for more paydays in the future.
Absolutely.
All right, Ryan, you're almost up here on the clock. Who you taking? Look at that. Bud Bull kind of redeeming himself. I'm going to give him a little bit of a redemption pick. He went with Dante Moncrief.
Man, he's definitely some sleeper value. I didn't know he'd be going this early.
Yeah, it's a little early. Maybe he watched Kyle's video.
I'm thinking so. He must have.
He must have watched Kyle's video because Kyle put together a great argument why Dante Moncrief is one of the top sleepers for the year. Where are you going, Ryan?
Well, I was going to go with Jared McKinnon
in
the 12th round, but I'm going to have to pass because he's already out the board. So I'm going to go with Carlos Hyde, even though I said I wouldn't do it. It breaks my heart. Got to hedge that bet.
Well,
he definitely has RB2 upside if Damian Williams gets hurt or doesn't pan out the way we all think he will.
Yep, I'm looking for this second quarterback. Let's see if I can get somebody else just in case. An offense that's full of weapons that's going to throw the ball. Does Todd Gurley lose some touches? Maybe do they open up the passing game even more? Jared Goff, in my opinion, is somebody in a best ball league that could, put up those huge weeks. We've saw it a little bit last season where he'd go out there and put up 40 or 50 points in a week. And if that's the case, if that happens just, one or two times a year, that could possibly be enough to propel me to a victory just those weeks.
Yeah, if he's not healthy, look for Jared Goff to go off in 2019.
Yep. Love it, especially as my quarterback, too. A little bit different. Obviously, if this was redraft, I would not have two quarterbacks by the 12th round. But trying to make sure that I have, being that there is no waivers, anything like that, if anything happens to Matt Ryan, I'm going to be absolutely in trouble. So now here I am back on the clock again, looking for the best available. Never Funchess. That ain't going to happen. I like some Paris Campbell. I like that upside. Anthony Miller is another name that I like this year. Golden Tate, James Washington, Donta Foreman. Paris Campbell is who I'm going to go with right here. I think in an Andrew Luck offense, he has the ability to play in the slot or outside. He has that ability to go out there and get you 10 targets in a week. He's going to be involved as a rookie. He's lightning quick and can put up some big plays. And he's my number 5 wide receiver.
Well, not a lot of people are going to love this pick, but I'm going to have to go with my man, Josh Allen, just for his rushing upside. So even in weeks where he's maybe not going off in the passing game, he has that rushing ability to give me a solid floor and be a very solid RB2 on my team.
I don't hate it. Bills Mafia represent.
Absolutely.
Where's Bills Mafia at? They in the comment section?
Oh, they're going to be.
They are when we say something bad about them, so I would hope that they were there when we say something good. Now,
just a little tip for you guys real quick. One thing that you guys will not see on draft.com if you're doing it from the desktop, your desktop, is the actual bye weeks of each player. So right now I got my phone pulled up. I'm going to be checking my roster because as we get deeper in the draft from those positional fill-in players, I want to know what their bye weeks are. I don't want 3 or 4 players with the same bye week. I'm going to look for those bye week fill-ins or positional upside players.
Which is a great tip. It's a lot of work. I like to wing it from time to time, so I really don't care. I'm just kidding. I do care, but absolutely, it's a good strategy, and that is one thing about the actual website. You don't see that on your roster, so that's something to pay attention to at the end.
Absolutely.
But on the other hand, because you're drafting so much depth at each position, because you have these larger rosters and you don't have to worry about setting your lineups. If you get 5, 6, 7 running backs, wide receivers, couple tight ends, couple quarterbacks, more than likely you're going to be set throughout all the bye weeks anyway. And everybody else has the same, risk from week to week as it is.
Oh, absolutely. And just taking a glance at it, I'm actually very well rounded. I don't have many, if any, overlap at any of my position. So that's awesome.
It's kind of like you know what you're doing. Kind of.
I'm maybe done this once or twice.
Maybe.
I mean, if you look back in 2018, I only had like 100 drafts. No big deal.
That's like when you have a problem.
Yeah, if you lose, you have a problem.
Right. So you see DK Metcalf just coming off the board here in the 13th round. In a best ball league, I don't hate it. There's that opportunity for those big plays from time to time in that offense. It's kind of what propelled Tyler Lockett last year to having a decent season. DK Metcalf may be that guy at some point here throughout the 2019 season.
I see him getting off to a slow start, but for the later part of the season, he's definitely going to be a good value in redraft or best ball.
Yep.
So, who's still on the board, who's getting a lot of hate, or I'm not even going to say hate, just who's an afterthought?
Adrian Peterson?
Jack Doyle, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't get it.
You got to say it with authority, though, Ryan.
Jack Doyle.
That's right. Jack Doyle.
We're in the 14th round, and if you look at the tight end position, he is not even the top selection. And I understand he went down with the injury, and he's got to recover from that. And Eric Ebron definitely took a step forward. But for my tight end 2, for the upside I'm going to get and the very minimal risk I'm taking him in the 14th round, I love Jack Doyle as a nice compliment to Zach Ertz.
How many times do you say you'd look at the tight end position?
What
happened was
I just got married, so I don't know what you're talking about.
That's right. Hey, yeah, congratulations. Everybody wish, Ryan a congratulations. Dude just got married last week.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, I just married the love of my life who's very supportive in what I do. And, without women like her and Jake's wife, Amber, we wouldn't be able to be out here giving you this kind of information on a week-to-week basis. So big shout out to all the wives who support the husbands in the fantasy football industry.
Yep, absolutely. All right, I'm reaching, Ryan. I'm going to reach. And I'm not going to tell you where I'm going to reach, so you're surprised when I reach there. But I'm going with Alexander Madison. I love Alexander Madison this year, and he would have been there. I could have gotten him in the 15th round, but at this point, nobody else was going to take him, so I might as well just do it now. But I love Alexander Madison this year.
I thought you were really high on Dalvin Cook, though.
I am crazy high on Dalvin Cook. But now, just in case, I have a possible RB1 sitting there.
I can't blame you there. Great safety, Val.
Let's see here. TJ Hawkinson, Jimmy Graham, Kalen Ballage. There he is. I'm going to get my speedster down here. I'm looking for some lottery tickets, right? We're looking for those big plays. Give me a possible a big playmaker with Andy Isabella.
All right, so if you're going to take a look at our drafts, we're now in round 15, and my team assembled so far. I have 2 QBs, 2 tight ends, 5 running backs, and 5 wide receivers. Very well balanced. So I'm going to take one more running back who has that kind of lottery ticket upside in Justice Hill, just in case, everyone thinks Mark Ingram's going to be the answer. But if you saw Justice Hill and the speed he has, I mean, one play, one handoff, he could take it 90 yards. So that's the kind of upside I'm looking for, especially in the 15th round. It's only an 18-round draft, so.
And it's like it's the best ball format. Just got to remember that. We're not drafting guys that we're going to start every single week. We're looking for the guys. That's the whole reason like an Andy Isabella even comes off the board in leagues like this, in my opinion. I mean, we talked about the speed of Kyler Murray also. He can extend plays. If he's extending plays and on the run, I like the ability of an Andy Isabella to separate from the defender, get the ball in open space and make something happen with that speed. I don't need him to go out there and get 200 yards a week. I need him to have a couple weeks where he has a big play for 70 yards and a touchdown that could carry me for a week if needed.
I think he should be drafted in all formats. Redraft, best ball. He's got that kind of upside. And where he's going with his current ADP, it literally doesn't make sense not to take a chance on him, especially in the offense
I'm looking at running backs here, and there's a couple names that are somewhat intriguing. Not sexy by any means, but when you're talking about we'll be in the 16th round of an 18-round draft, you got the likes of an Adrian Peterson, who's not what he used to be. Darius Geis is going to be involved. Chris Thompson is still there. But there was a few times last year where you'd see Adrian Peterson go out and maybe only get 50 yards rushing, but he also got the 2 goal line carries and ended up with 50 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a possibility. Matt Breida is there. We already know that Jerick McKinnon, suffers from injuries from time to time. A lot of people aren't sold on Tevin Coleman. Does Matt Breida have that upside? Possibly.
Deion Lewis in a half-point PPR. I mean, if it's going to be a shootout game, maybe he gets the workload that week.
Do you want to gamble at this point with, say, maybe a Duke Johnson and hope that he gets traded somewhere that's going to actually utilize him at some point throughout the season? What happens if Duke Johnson goes to Tampa Bay? All of a sudden, Duke Johnson is a little bit more intriguing than he is in Cleveland.
Absolutely.
And you could have
the concern around Kareem Hunt, though, I don't think they can afford to trade Duke Johnson.
Right, probably not. But I mean, if that's the case and Kareem Hunt is not producing in Cleveland, Duke Johnson still has some potential upside there too.
I definitely
one of the most
like
efficient running backs in the NFL,
especially out in that passing game. Mm-hmm. So you're looking in 16th round. It depends on the balance of your team. You're going to want more wide receivers than you are running backs, but you're going to want to have that balanced approach. And in the 16th round of your draft, you only have the 16th, the 17th, and the 18th round. You got to take those kind of gambles. And Duke Johnson is definitely someone who fits the mold. And you drafted Nick Chubb, so that's a nice handcuff right there.
Yep, it would be. So, I mean, that, if he's there when it comes back around, maybe something that I look at. I've still got a few picks to go, but we'll have to see how it plays out. What are you looking at right now?
I got a question for you. So,
no.
Great answer. So, the Miami Dolphins, there's not a lot of upside there, but I really do think Ryan Fitzpatrick starts as the quarterback, and whenever he's a quarterback, he's basically an all or nothing type of guy. So, are you looking to target a player like Devontae Parker or maybe Kenny Stills, who has that long ball ability?
Kenny Stills, Albert Wilson, something like that maybe. Devontae Parker is like Bigfoot. There's just sightings of him. There's really not a consistency. He is the greatest preseason and OTA player of all time because every single year you hear about Devontae Parker making great catches, looking great in camp, and then the season starts and he looks everything but great and is just nothing but hot garbage from a week-to-week basis. I am approaching the age of 40 years old, and I am not in any shape, and I'm almost positive I could produce with Devontae Parker.
Well, I don't have to worry about that now because
they're both gone. They're both gone now. Kenny Stills, Devontae Parker. What about Emmanuel Sanders? He's somebody who's fallen down the list. A lot of people all over Deshaun Hamilton and Cortland Sutton, but Emmanuel Sanders, I know he's coming off of an injury, and even maybe a John Brown.
Achilles injury.
Right.
Definitely severe. And he's, 30, 31 years old?
Yeah, but it's happened before. There's been players, and so much just made from the Achilles injury. There's been players that have come back from it before. Michael Crabtree tore his Achilles and still went on to have, a decent career. I wouldn't say it was a great career, but he at least could run. Where are you going? Make a pick. Make up your mind. Do it.
Your favorite nickname for the tax man?
Oh, you're going with Bob Foster?
Oh, yeah. Bob, the Price is Right Foster.
Nice. I like the pick of Bob Foster, actually. I like Bob Foster at the end of the draft.
Pair him up with Josh Allen? Yeah, I like that. A little double dip there.
Let's see here. Who do I got? Marquise Brown? No, thank you. I'm going to go one more tight end, and I'm just going to say it because that's a hometown guy here in Carolina. Greg Olsen, is he going to stay healthy? Probably not. But if he is healthy, he's the favorite weapon of Cam Newton. and gives me another stable piece there at the tight end position just in case, since I didn't get one of the elite guys at the beginning.
I might just take Ian Thomas just to spite you.
That's fine. I would highly doubt at this point that either one of them cracked the starting lineup at any point anyway.
No, looking at my team, I got 6 wide receivers, 6 running backs, 2 quarterbacks, and 2 tight ends. I do have elite tight ends, so I might just stay put there. But I'm looking to draft probably 1 more quarterback and 1 more wide receiver, depending on who falls to me.
Well, it's my turn again here, and I did it. I went with Duke Johnson kind of as a slight handcuff to Nick Chubb there just in case. And like I said earlier, if he gets traded at any point and he's a part of a game plan, Duke Johnson is a great running back.
Yeah, and I took a shot at Manuel Sanders. I mean, you have to start 3 wide receivers each week, so he's going to be my 7th wide receiver off the board, and he definitely has some upside. If he can get healthy and get himself ready for week 1 in that Broncos offense, he'll be the wide receiver 1, and you're getting him in the 17th round. You got to take a gamble on a player like that.
Well, this will be going into the last round here for us, the last picks, and I'm going to tell you who I'm going to pick, even though you picked before me, because I can guarantee you he's not really on your radar. I'm going to draft one of my idols here, and it's going to be Fitzmagic, because I'm all about the chest hair and gold chains in post-game interviews. Do I ever expect to use him? No, absolutely not. But dude is a beast. Now, if Derek Carr is still sitting there, I may go with Derek Carr, but he may not be there by the time it comes back to me.
To be honest, in those 12-man leagues, I am drafting Ryan Fitzpatrick in the last round, or at least looking to pick him up off waiver wires, just because I really do think he will be the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins from weeks 1 to 6, maybe, just to give Rosen time to really develop and get that offense and take over the reins. But while they got a shot at a playoff contention, Ryan Fitzpatrick should be the man there in Miami.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about that. If you watch Ryan Fitzpatrick play and you don't enjoy it, you're not American and you don't like football, because the dude is just oozing confidence. The big bushy beard, the facial expressions, the celebrations, the errant throws, it's just all over the place, and it's fun to watch.
Preach on, brother.
Yep.
Preach on. I love it. Yeah. You got to love yourself some Ryan Fitzmagic.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, the guy's, 45 years old, and he's walking around like a pimp that, is dating Lindsay Lohan or something crazy like that. And,
Ryan, it's not the 90s. We don't talk about Lindsay Lohan anymore.
Okay, I don't know. Jessica Fox?
Who is that?
The girl from Transformers?
That's Megan Fox, Ryan.
Damn. Edit this part out.
Well, it's official. Ryan has no idea who any actress in Hollywood is.
No, I watch movies, and I think most actresses are pretty. So there you go.
Well, there you go. All right, then. Well, apparently Ryan doesn't pay attention to names. But anyway, moving on. Here we go into the last and 18th round. Your boy Ian Thomas, who you're going to troll me with, has been taken, so you're going to have to come up with another plan there. We'll round it out here. Steve will make his last pick. I'm going to go up, and I'm going to queue up Ryan Fitzpatrick, because you took my first quarterback from me, and if you do this one, you're fired.
Fair enough. I'm actually kind of looking at Sam Darnold to pair with Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, I don't hate Sam Darnold at this point. I mean, I would not be excited in a redraft league.
I mean, in a best ball league, if Robbie Anderson's going to have that 80-yard touchdown, Sam Darnold's going to be the guy throwing it to him. So, yeah, sign me up for that double-dipping affair, because I'll get double points. So
that's right.
In the last round, I'm not opposed to it. I'm looking at my team on my mobile. I mean, Zach Ertz and Jack Doyle, I don't feel like there can really go wrong. There's not a lot of upside at the tight end position. Yeah, I'd rather go with Sam Darnold here.
Do it.
Done.
There goes Fitzmagic now off the board, just because I said so and I'm a man of my word. So let's pull up the teams here one last time. Let's see what we got. Oops, not that team. That is nobody else's team. We don't care about who that is. Here's my team first. We have team headliners. We got Matt Ryan, Ezekiel Elliott, Nick Chubb, Mike Evans, Brandon Cooks, Allen Robinson, Hunter Henry, Rashad Penny, David Njoku, Geronimo Allison, Jalen Samuels, Jared Goff, Paris Campbell, Alexander Madison, Andy Isabella, Greg Olson, Old Man Greg, Duke Johnson, and Ryan Fitzmagic. Not a bad team. I take that one, no problem. Pull up Ryan's team here. He's got Baker Mayfield, Christian McCaffrey, Gurley and Hill, Robbie Anderson, Jarvis Landry, Zach Ertz, Kerryon Johnson, Lamar Miller, Kiki QT, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Carlos Hyde, Josh Allen, Jack Doyle, Justice Hill, Bob Foster, Emmanuel Sanders, and Sam Darnold. I like both these rosters. I'm not upset at either one of them. I think they both came out pretty good here for a 10-team mock draft.
Yeah, I definitely gambled a little bit earlier, but I definitely solidified it with some safer options later on, some value picks, if you guys will. And I wouldn't be mad with either one of these teams, especially in a 10-man league. And I wouldn't be surprised if either one of us took it down.
Yep, absolutely. Well, hey, that concludes this draft, but we want to know your thought process. Let us know what you think. Were there some picks along the way as you were following along that maybe you would have done differently? By all means, that's the purpose of doing drafts here in July. We're trying to establish, the way that we plan on drafting once the actual season starts. This is a great tool. If you haven't used Draft before, go check it out, draft.com. Use our promo code Headliners, HEADLINERS. Sign up for a new account. Make that $10 deposit. Draft will give you a free $3 ticket. And then you never know, you may be mock drafting against myself or Ryan in a future video. So make sure you go do that. Leave us a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. We greatly appreciate all the support out there from Headliner Nation. Hopefully you all have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you later.
See you guys.